Looking south on Highway 1 towards Highway 92, and we're going to look at the Highland Park neighborhood. Terrace Avenue is the main street off of Highway 1. Obviously, no outlet, so it's a low traffic neighborhood. This little house here was built in the 40s, kind of the highway marker for this neighborhood. Nice wide streets. Most of these houses on Terrace are built probably 50s, 60s, 70s, except for the little one here. And then up at the end, they added some more houses probably 10, 15 years ago. It was supposed to be a lot bigger build out, but there was some issues with drainage that was created by the city, lawsuit between the builder and the city. That was a $43 million lawsuit. I believe it was settled out for like $18 million. So instead of building out the lower level, which is just north of this street here, they ended up just building up in the back. And those are all much larger homes. And as you can see, the street kind of ramps up down at the end there, which offers some of the houses on that paved section some ocean views, and definitely the ones up in the back there are afforded ocean views. So we're going to take a drive around the neighborhood. Golden Gate Avenue is the first cross street. And then the other two streets that parallel Terrace are Silver and Highland. So here we go. I'm going to pivot the camera to both sides of the street to give you an idea of what the houses look like. You can see it's a typical overcast day in Half Moon Bay. So we have a combo of single story, like 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2-car garage houses. That's a 1-car garage there. Some 2-story stuff on both the left and the right, rancher style. So as you can see, it's not the same builder for everything here. There's just some different ones. This A-frame here I sold for some clients a few years ago. They moved to New Mexico, and then we rented it for a while and then went through and did an overhaul on that. You can see that on my YouTube channel. So as we're coming up to the intersection here, this is going to be Golden Gate Avenue. It dead ends to the left, and to the right, it takes you over to Silver Avenue and Highland Avenue. And then we're going to head up the street here. And Golden Gate, just a quick note, goes basically, there's a big field, and then there's the next neighborhood up, which is also considered Highland Park, that has the same street. So we're headed up here. It's going to take us up back, as I mentioned earlier. That's a fairly new construction in the last 5 or 10 years. And some of these ones, as we get to the back, that one's newer, older. This one was done like a Aloha style house. It sold a number of years ago and got to go through it. It was pretty cool. Another newer home here. So as we ramp up the hill here, you'll see when we come out of the newer section of the neighborhood that these homes actually have pretty good ocean views. The ones at an angle to help see what's there. So as we roll in here, this is the new section of the neighborhood. I mentioned at the beginning of the video that there was a whole lawsuit involved in this whole neighborhood build out, and this is basically what was able to be built. These are all 3,000 plus square foot homes from my memory. Haven't really seen any turnover in this neighborhood since it was built out, but they're all super nice. We got to tour most of these properties during broker's tour when they were originally getting built out. And behind the eucalyptus trees behind this house and a little bit to the right is basically the high school football field. So that can impact you with some noise during the night games or other events that are happening on the high school property. So as you can see, nice, clean, uniform neighborhood. Garbage cans are out, so it's garbage day. I don't know if all of these were equipped with solar or just quite a few of them. Then we're going to head up. This is basically a little 2-street neighborhood. And so we'll cruise down this next street to give you a look at that. And there's a gate there, and it's pretty much open space up behind these. It's privately owned property, but I'm sure the folks in the neighborhood take advantage of that open space. So these are, I want to say, about 15 years old, so they're probably all ready for a coat of paint if they haven't already been painted. Um, but you're not getting any through traffic here. It's basically just the people that live here in the neighborhood are coming up these two streets, so pretty quiet, pretty private. I didn't sell any of these, so I don't know the vibe of the neighborhood. I haven't really talked to anybody that lives up here. But I'm not sure if it's one of those cool cul-de-sac streets where they have block parties during different times of the year, or if everybody just opens their garage door, drives in, and ignores everybody else. I really don't know. But knowing Half Moon Bay, it's probably a friendly little section. As we turn here and head west, on a gray day, it's sometimes a little bit hard to see, but the ocean's going to be out in the distance. So as we roll forward here, yeah, I mean, I was able to see this while I was driving, but, yeah, there you go. So you can see the dark area there at the horizon is the ocean. So there's a little bit color definition. So like I said, these houses here do offer some ocean views. And we're going to roll down here through the neighborhood again. We'll show you some of the houses from a different direction because you get a better angle on them. But again, 2-story, newer stuff up this end of the block, and some 70s, 80s stuff thrown in there, and then stuff built over the last 15, 20 years. These are all built independently, and they show that it's not a uniform cookie cutter neighborhood, which I like. And again, wide streets in this neighborhood, so even if there's cars out on the street, you don't feel like you're going to be clipping mirrors when you're going up the street or passing somebody going the other way. Definitely wide enough and car friendly. So here we go. We're back at Golden Gate Avenue, and we're going to take a left here and head into the older section of this neighborhood. Most of this was built out in the 1980s. There was a builder that came in, built, I don't know, probably 20 plus homes. Most of them were open beam ceilings, knotty pine and beams, and living space upstairs, bedroom downstairs. So we're heading this direction. This street has a guardrail at the end of it. So it looks like the intention was originally to provide access on the Highway 1, but I guess at some point, I don't know the history of it, that they basically blocked this street off. And maybe it was because you had two, Terrace and Silver here, both coming out right next to each other, and maybe it was causing some traffic issues, so they ended up just blocking it off. But again, it makes it that much quieter of a street because you're not getting through traffic coming into the neighborhood. You have to, if you're living on Terrace, the first block there, yeah, you're going to have, everybody coming into the neighborhood has to pass your house. But when you get over here on Silver and Highland, it's basically street-specific traffic, unless somebody's just roaming around exploring. So you can see here, road closed, no access, sidewalks go all the way out. I remember when that blue house and the Spanish-style one got built, it was probably in the late 90s, early 2000s. And we're going to take a right here, and down at the end of the street, this tan house is probably the original farmhouse that owned this whole neighborhood and maybe a bigger area. It still has quite a bit of space around it for the neighborhood, but like I said, my guess is that's the original farmhouse that owned all this property. So we're here on Highland Avenue, which is the name that the neighborhood is named after. So again, big 2-story homes for the most part, probably 25 to 3,500 square feet for the most part, to some 3-car garages, larger lots, 7,500, 10,000, some 12,000 square foot lots. So plenty of front yard space, plenty of rear yard space, and plenty of driveway parking if you have your garage full of stuff. So, there's another 3-car garage there. And this is the cross street of Golden Gate, but we'll head up to the end of the block. And as I mentioned when we were up in the newer section of the neighborhood, that probably from here up to the end of the street is you're going to have noise. You can see the lights up there off to the right for the football field. And when we get up to the end of the street, I think you can see one of the scoreboards and goal markers when we get there. So again, like I said, just a variety of different style houses, as you can see, as we're going up the street. So we're looking at the ones on the right, and then we go back down the hill. We'll take a look at the ones on the other side of the street and see what we got there. But fairly decent turnover in this neighborhood. Probably 3 to 5 houses a year turnover in here. So not a huge turnover, but enough to give you the opportunity to move in if you like this neighborhood. And then I think you can see, right there next to the house, you can see the yellow pole, and then just to the left of that is one of the scoreboards. So the field's that close, so it gives you an idea of if there's a football game going on with the yelling and cheering and the PA system going, you're definitely going to hear it in this neighborhood. Some people may enjoy that, and some people may be annoyed, but something to keep in mind if you choose to live here. And then we're headed back over to Silver Avenue. That's the newer houses on the other side of the fence. So, nice balcony with ocean views. And then, again, houses with solar on them, and being at the top of the hill, you have ocean view off in the distance. And this is walkable to downtown because you're basically 2 stoplights north of 92. You have Highway 92, and then Main Street cuts into Highway 1 also just north of that. So easily for kids walking to school, that they can do that. You can walk downtown over to Safeway, or if you cut across the highway and go north, you can go through Casa del Mar, which is Kehoe Avenue, and walk down to the beach. So pretty good location, close to town, but nice quiet streets, and pretty well maintained neighborhood. There's probably a few rentals in here, but I think they hire gardeners because for the most part you can't drive down the street and go, hey, look at that one, it's not taken care of. It's pretty consistent with pride of ownership and yard maintenance on all these properties. I think this little single story there is a Mike Mack house. He built probably about a dozen homes. They're arts and crafts style, single story, pretty big square footage for single story, I think 2,000 plus. So those are nice, and a little bit different character of the arts and crafts. So that's it. It's a 3.5 street neighborhood. So 3 streets for the older section, 2 cul-de-sacs for the newer section, and we're in and out of this neighborhood. We're going to go straight here, maybe. Yes.